Okay, really quick. I'd like to go over this moderate, if not a minor vulnerability with file upload in Django web framework. Basically, as I was working on something relating to sending files, I came across these security releases from the Django project. But before I continue, here is a disclaimer for this short video. I am not a security expert, nor am I trying to be one, but as a software developer, I should be aware of security vulnerabilities that might impact my application. Myself, I have been hacked before, time and time. Um, yeah, I've been hacked before, but I figured that being a software engineer is not enough. You should also learn how to protect your information, be it a text file on your desktop or your latest RS filing for your tax. So, what is the potential denial of service vulnerability in file uploads? As explained here, CVE-2023-24580. That's the common vulnerability and exposure number. So the potential denial of service as vulnerability in this case will consist of feeding the server memory with more than it can chew. Okay, let me explain. So the attacker send more, what's happened is that the attacker send more binary files than the server can handle, sort of overflowing the HTTP server. That being said, the Django project came up with a patch, thanks to Jacob Ackerman, a patch to deter the exposure, protect against an attack that might overfeed your server memory. And that's where there is a property data upload max files, which one sets on your settings file will restrict the number of files that should be uploaded to your server. Okay, right. For those of you who are JavaScript developer, you may be thinking, well, I can pre-check the array of files object on JavaScript before sending it to the server. That's right. And that's true. You can check the number of files on JavaScript before sending it to the HTTP server, but JavaScript is not enough. And why JavaScript is not enough in this case? Because if you only can deter the potential attack using JavaScript, the attacker may use any other client tool than the browser. They may use curl, they may use wget or the HTTP. With curl, I like to present the attacker as a she because a lot of she attacker are more sophisticated than he attack. Well, it doesn't matter. It might be a he behind she. Let me say they don't have to go through a web browser to upload bunch of files onto your server. They can use a script with an infinite loop or a loop that sends bunch of file to DDos the server, right? So you have to handle the maximum, number of file upload on the backend instead of fully relying on JavaScript on the front end. So let's look at the vulnerability in the actions. Okay, let's go to the demo and demonstrate how it works. Okay, back to our, just a project where we've demonstrated different tutorials. So we are going to create a view. We call that a view or in Django or some framework call them, router or endpoints. We create a view. I'm going to choose a customer application. So customer application, let's create a new view that will allow a user to upload a file. With that, we're going to create a class name. Let's name that upload file view. This will be, instead of being a child of model view set, we're going to use the API view So the API view, for those of you who are not familiar with the API view, is a grandfather, if not a grandfather of model view. So we have the API view. I have explained that before. We have the API view as the main class from which different view sets has been created, including the model view set. Okay, let's import the API view class from race framework. From view, we just import the API view. Okay, so we do have our API view, and we're going to implement the post verb. Post, as we know, by default takes in a request, but I'll just be explicit. You know, I want the request to be a HTTP request, which means I need to import HTTP request. Let's import from REST framework request, imports HTTP request. We could also import HTTP requests from Django, but anyway, I'm just using the REST framework. Okay, saying that this request will be of type, and this is just to be more explicit with typing, you know, anything that get passed in. Okay, so we're expecting a request, and we have to get a response. Just to test our view, we need to return our response. We return something like the response. This is the response. Yeah, we're just testing, you know, the response. Okay. As you can see, the request is not used. I can also pass the request. Let me just pass the request. So request, yeah. So I just passing the request. Of course, this is a response from the request. You know, I don't have to stringify that. It's already stringified using the format. Okay. Now let's create the URL for this upload file view from customer. So we are going to use a simple path. I'll name the path upload file, simple. And of course, we need to import the view upload file view and call the view. He knows already that we are going to implement the post, so we don't need to. But let's just pass the name upload file. Simple. Okay, we got our view. Now let's test it. Let's make sure that our upload file view, URL is working. To do that, I want to confirm something quickly on the setting. I'm not gonna use, I don't want to use the database from the virtual machine. I'm just gonna use the database from the DB-SQL. Cool. Looks good. Python manage run server v1.customer. Okay, we wanted to confirm the link or the URL customer/customers was working because, you know, I've been using this one this URL when I upload the video about, you know, versioning in Django. So if we try upload file, of course cannot work. Why? Because the verb get is not implemented, so we can't test that on with the verb get. We can test that using curl. You know, we want to make sure that this verb post is working. Let's see if I have a file. If I have any file here, I'll create a file. I'll create a file called upload.txt, right? And I'll echo some junk onto this file, upload.txt. So if we cut, you know, we got some junk. So we are going to use the upload. Let me create another file. So touch chunk.txt, echo junk to upload, chunk.txt. Right, now if we list, if we list anything with .txt, we have a chunk and we have upload. And these are the two files that we'll be using to demonstrate the property max upload number files in Django to restrict, you know, how many files that should be uploaded. Okay, now let's keep testing our endpoints customer/upload file to make sure that it's working. Curl file I'll use any key. People usually use file. It's here, chunk.txt, and of course, localhost 8000 slash v1 slash customer slash upload file. So we need to finish with we can set the append slash to false in our setting. If not, we need to finish the upload URL with a forward slash. So which means after upload file, we should pass the forward slash. So we got the keyword argument version, unexpected keyword argument version. So what's happening? If we go on our main URL configuration, we are using the URL path versioning for our customer, and the implementation for our URL upload file, it sort of inherits from this main configuration. But did we finish the configuration? No. Also, by the way, let me show you something. Let's try version class, or let's use the URL path versioning for both upload file and which means when the user is uploading this uploading file using this endpoint, they should use versioning. Interesting, right? Yeah, let's see what's happened. Now we assign the customer URL path versioning on the upload view and see what's gonna happen. Let's try again. Let's try to upload. Oh, we get the same error. Got unexpected keyword argument. So what's happening in this situation is that we are using the API view instead of using the model view set. But I'll stick on API view to make it simple. So let's remove versioning class. So when you're using the API view, you should automatically, opt for the namespace versioning. Let's go to our main URL. As we can see in our main URL, we have the namespace versioning. We have the URL path versioning. We need to reconfigure our URL so that we can use both the namespace versioning and the URL path versioning on the app customer. So which is, we are going to do v.0 because this is our namespace versioning, the default versioning in our system, in our project. What is it? Yeah, this is our default versioning, which is the namespace versioning. So we are going to pass v1.0 slash customer slash, we can just leave it the way it is. And we include the customer URL. Okay, customer URL. But since we are using the namespace versioning, we need to pass the expected namespace. v1.0. Is that all? Let's figure out what's gonna happen next. We save. Yeah, we got a new error. The app name is not supported, so we need to define the app we are using. Since we are using two versioning scheme, both for the URL path versioning and the namespace versioning, we need to specify the app name on our customer app URL. We can just pass app name equal customer. And this is required for this URL that we'll be using the namespace versioning. Let's save. Looks like it's running now, and let's try our upload. So now we don't need to use the v1 because the v1 is for the URL path versioning. So we need to use v1.0, which is the namespace versioning. And let's try to upload. Now we can see that our endpoints recognize that, hey, this URL is valid and this is the response. So we've uploaded the chunk text, but we are not handling anything. The goal in this video is to demonstrate the data upload max number file. Now let's handle this face upload file, the chunk file first. So let's go back to our view. We need to handle the file upload. To handle that, we can just get the file. We are going to do file, or we don't need key, in request file items. We're getting items. Yeah, we can get keys or values, but I prefer to get item. Request. So file, for file in request upload, and we want to make sure that the instance of request file is of type dictionary. Okay, so in this case we are just getting the file. Let's get the first file. I'll call that upload a file, uploaded file. Since we know that we are just uploading one, we can just get the first file. Upload file equal file 0. We get the first file. We can return response will be you have upload file name. Just telling the user, hey, you've just upload file name. That'll be our simple response. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's upload the chunk text again. So it just responds, you've uploaded, forget the ed, if you've uploaded chunk.txt. Okay, that's one file, right? Let's look at the way we can apply the property of data upload max number files on our settings. But before we do, we need to let's try to upload more than one file, right? So let's try to upload more than one file with the curl. First, we are going to upload the text. So we have a chunk and we have a upload. So let's upload both chunk and upload.txt. And remember, this is just a txt file. It can be PDF. It can be even a loaded, txt file. Okay, let's upload both of them. The first file will be chunk.txt. The second file will be file2 at chunk.txt or upload.txt. And of course, we have our URL http local host 8000 API v1.0. Remember, we are using the namespace versioning now. Customer upload file and /. Now we get the first file, but we can loop that so we can see all the file upload. To do that, as we both know, file for file in files, just create a variable. Let's name that variable file name. Okay, for file name equal file name. I want to do something equal file name, and then we break the line. Let's see what's gonna happen, and then we print file name. We return file name. So to confirm the number file uploaded, yeah, just leave a space. It's none. It should be okay. String file name. We just pass all the file name in the string. Let's try again. Now you can see you have uploaded chunk. Of course, should be uploaded. You have uploaded chunk text and upload.txt. We are not getting the contents of this file, because to get the contents we need to read them or read lines. We should do something like this, read lines. So it's getting bytes, it's not getting string. I'll keep stringify there. I'll keep stringifying that. There we go. Now we get, even if it still bites like, you have upload the content of the phase one. This is by no means something you should do. I'm just, trying to be a little bit extra. So we get the content of files one and files two. Now let's restrict the maximum upload number to be only one file and see what's gonna happen. Okay, let's go to our settings. Anywhere in your settings, you can just use data upload max number files, and I'll say 1. And let's see what's gonna happen. Now we save and let's go upload again our 2 file. So we are going to upload file 1 and file 2. Okay, we're still getting the upload as read, line 1 and line 2. So this should be in integer. So data upload max number file 1. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's try again. Of course, it's still reading. So I think we have a versioning problem. You see, as you can see, Django version 407. That's the version of Django I'm using. But this patch, the new feature data upload max number files has been applied on let's look at that. So it's been applied on Django 417, 4010, and 32.18. So I need to make sure that I either have 32.18 or Django 0.10 and greater than 0.10 for 0.10. Okay, so I think I have to update my Django. I can stop the server. Let me do this. Pip show Django. Yeah, it's 4.07. So I can say pip install Django equal 4.010 just to make sure that they're being truthful. Is that correct like this? Yeah. So we update. Now you install 4.010. Let's run our server again back. Okay, and see what's gonna happen if we try to upload 2 files. Now we got a new error. The error says bad request. Bad request. We got bad request. Why? Because we are uploading more than see the number file exceeds setting data upload max file. Okay. Of course, we need to make sure that we make it a little bit readable for the user, instead of just sending this back. We can make sure the error fell fell correctly or graciously, as the term is used, for file in file is to something. So if the length of the file we upload, and this is the way it can be handled without the max, the max or the data upload max number file. You can do if the length of file is greater than 1, which is okay, but the problem is that the user will arrive here instead of that property handling that. I think this property is somewhere working with the middleware. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I think this one handle that somewhere in the middleware, catching the request and checking the file. Okay. So we say something like if for the file, if the length of the file, if the file upload is greater than 1, we loop for file in files. Yeah, we close the file and then we return something like after the loop, we return something like you know, the number of file uploaded is greater than 1. Right? That's the first way we can handle that. Let's try, save. We upload again. We can see that even if we try to handle that here, it's still throwing an error. Why? Because we are dealing with the error coming from the configuration. We need to catch this error before it can be thrown. Okay, so to do that, we are going to import the error from Django core exception, and then we're gonna catch the too many files sent. Too many files sent? No, we need to catch too many files sent. I think too many files sent was not implemented on a Django 4.0.10. So let me go a little bit higher. I have to use 4.1.7. 4.1.7. Okay. Let's insert this guy. Okay, now let's try to import from Django core exception, import too many files sent. This is the guy I was looking for. Too many files sent and the validation error. Okay. Now we need to catch this exception, the too many files sent. To catch that, of course, as you may guess, we need to use the try block. So we are going to put everything on the try. Try except too many files sent. So we don't need this condition anymore. We can just bring these guys, these lines. So we're not gonna enter that, we're just gonna close that and then print file name is close, file dot close to lower. Just confirm that the file is closed, and then we respond by saying, and this will be on the server, length of the file uploaded, which means X number of file uploaded, and then we pass the status to 200. So if we upload the number of the file that is expected like a one file, it's just gonna print the number of the file uploaded and retain status 200. If not, and then it's gonna return. And this is we just customizing. Gonna return too many files uploaded. Since let's import the setting from Django config imports settings, and then we're gonna pass the setting number, settings data number. Let me break the line. Maximum, which will be something like a too many files uploaded, one file maximum. No, something like this. Status. Okay, now we are catching the too many files sent exception. Okay, let's try again. Python manage run server. Okay, let's upload now. See, too many files uploaded, one file maximum, right? So now we will be able to enter that, graciously for the front end. Okay, that's all for these famous data upload max number files. There are many of them. If you want to try, you can just go to exception. You will see we have too many files sent,